What's up, potheads and political junkies? You're watching Cannabis Culture News Live. It's September 7th today, 2012. I'm Jeremiah Vandermeer, editor of Cannabis Culture magazine, and I want you guys to kiss my glass today, and that's the theme of the show. It's going to be an all-glass show, pretty much all-glass show. We'll have Redbeard on from Redbeard Glass to talk about glass blowing and his glass gathering that he had just earlier this year, plus some drama with the cops. They've been on his ass, and they have now just actually stayed his charges, the government. He's a medical marijuana grower as well, so we'll talk to him about all of that stuff. And also on the show, Marco Renda of Treating Yourself magazine, now of Glass Culture magazine. Glass Culture, this is a new rag out here in Canada that looks pretty cool. I have a copy of it. I'll show you guys that in a little while. And on the show as well, non-glass related, we have Marius Stoner to talk about the Stephen Harper protest that happened yesterday here in Vancouver. He's going to update us on that. He's actually here in the producer seat right now.
Yeah,
Marius, do we have a camera set up over there?
Yeah, we got a camera here. They should be able to see me.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we're getting better here.
We have one additional camera. We're fantastic.
Yeah. Woohoo!
It's really high tech.
I'll give it back to
anyways.
Jeremiah.
Also on the show, non-glass related, Ted Smith of the Cannabis Buyers Club and Hempology 101. He's going to talk to us about the 17th anniversary of Hempology, 17 years. And also the Cannabis Buyers Club. Ted has run into a little bit of financial trouble with the government. They want their tax dollars. So Ted's going to tell us what's going on there. Also on the show, in the audience now, I have my main man Johnny here. John B, what's up?
Hey, how you doing, Jeremiah?
You should come
Pot
over.
TV, folks.
You should come over and maybe first
Hey,
tell.
Pot TV.
Oh yeah. Maybe you should explain who you are and then explain what I'm smoking here while I smoke this.
Okay, my name's John B. John Buffalo. I'm a medical grower. I've been involved with cannabis movement for years, and long story short, I've been winning some awards for the growing. Oh, you gotta hit the choke in there.
Oh,
on the
there's
side.
a choke.
There's a choke on the side,
Mm-hmm.
and he's trying some full bubble chem melt right now, actually. So we're watching that bubble in there, Jeremiah. Not nice. There you go.
Wow. That's amazing. That's delicious. I should. It's still going. We should keep hitting that thing.
Keep hitting that.
And
thing.
Marius, you should get in on this.
So,
Okay, cool.
Wow,
Thank
that's
you.
delicious, man.
This is Bubba Chem, and this is a strain that was just recently entered into the Saskatoon Prairies Cup,
hit it again.
and it took third place for. Ooh, you liking that? So I'm a medical grower, and I've been actually entered in the Treating Yourself Expo Cup in 2011 and won first place for
The winner.
strain
That's
Medi
right.
Kush.
Nice.
Growing with Medi 1, which was kind of where I'm about, is trying to standardize medical grows, which I've talked about in the past. And once again, I was published in issue 32 of Treating Yourself magazine, Standardized Medical Grows.
That's right.
This year, I took second place with the same strain.
And the TY Expo 2012.
Yeah, it's all about education, standardized growing, and just trying to get, hey, everybody's got to grow some good medicine, right? And that's what it's all about. So I do a lot of education on that. And my job title is Legal Medical Cannabis Educator / Advocate by WorkSafe BC. So
That's quite the title.
That is my back to work program, and that's what I've been doing now for the last 3-4 years, is just helping out the medical community and all of you people out there on Pot TV, man. Yeah.
Well, you've been doing great work, man. You're definitely helping us out right now with this delicious product here. Now, not only the TY cups you placed in and took first, but just recently there was the Prairie Cannabis, the Medicinal Harvest Cup in Saskatoon, and you were there for that as well, weren't you?
Actually, I never had a chance to make it.
Oh, you weren't there.
Actually, Dr. Hormy went, and on my behalf, he brought some of my cannabis there to be entered into the cup there that Jeff was eager to try because he really liked it from the TY, so he's like, please. Right. So I sent in some of this new strain I've been working with, Bubba Chem, what you trying? And
yes.
Right there, you light that one up too.
All right. We'll spark this
and
one out.
it came in third place, and it was, it's just another.
Third. And there was some steep competition there, I heard.
I heard there's some really good competition. Yeah, you know what? Same with TY, really good competition. You know, all of these cups now, there's a lot of medical grows out there, and everybody's growing medicine. And you know what? It's, hey, you know what?
There's some good growers out there these days.
And it's great because we get better medicine out there, better quality for the patient, stuff like that. And the better growers with all these competitions is getting people growing better medicine. And that's
Absolutely.
the main thing, you know what I mean?
And so tell us a little bit more about the whole WorkSafe job.
WorkSafe job. Well, what I've been doing right now is I've been working at a local gardening store, Pacific Northwest Garden Supplies. I'm there twice a week, Monday and Friday, 10 till 2, and I help educate patients on strain specifics for different conditions and stuff. And it's my back to work program with WCB, so I fought for that because I was hurt quite bad on the job, and I couldn't get back to work at a full-time capacity, so I started educating people on cannabis, and WCB funded me to do that.
That is very cool, man.
Now I'm trying to get them to fund, well, seriously injured workers to pay for the cannabis, because a lot of us are now legally exempted for spinal cord injuries and stuff like that, which
Right.
I've been helping in the community quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I have WorkSafe BC and Supreme Court of BC to have cannabis covered for seriously injured workers right now. So that's going to be my big fight for the next 3 to 5 years, and look forward to talking more about that in the future, getting more involved in 2013, talking with lawyers and stuff. So.
Well, we should have you back on the show for sure.
Oh, I got a lot of stuff, you know. I've been doing this for a long time, so.
And you can maybe you brought the cup, actually the Prairie Cup in yesterday or the day before and showed it off to us. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, you know what? I should bring by all my cups one.
Bring the cups by, show them off.
Hey,
very cool.
It's for everybody. You know what? Like, that was the best thing about it, is it wasn't just me. It was a team of people that actually helped me get to where I was going. The education on the strains, how to grow things properly. I had a team of people, and it was all different friends and stuff that got involved and really wanted to get involved in growing good medicine. And that's the best thing about it with the growers out there now, is we're all kind of throwing each other ideas, lowering humidities, this and that. But,
yeah. Marius, will you throw that other light on? We didn't.
Oh yeah.
We didn't put both the lights on for some reason. I guess I don't know if it'll make much of a difference anyway. But
Let's see.
Cool. So very cool, man. Thanks for coming on, and thanks for hooking us up with the deliciousness.
Thank you.
Awesome, as usual. And this stuff was amazing. And you also loaded my bong with it too.
I loaded your bong up just to keep you going. I know there's a lot left in there for me, and like I see, it's my.
Yeah, you should be hitting that too.
Pride and joy right now. Leave you with one of these here.
Oh yeah, well you left another one on the table here. You're leaving us more than enough.
Sharing it with all of you guys out there too. You know what? There
awesome.
you go.
There you go. Very cool. Well, thanks a lot, man, for coming on again. We'll have you back as soon as you want to talk a little bit more about what's happening there with some of that stuff. Sounds pretty cool.
Well, thanks for having me. It was great to stop by.
And congrats on all your wins.
Peace and love to all you guys out there, and I'll be watching you from the.
Awesome. Thanks, John. Excellent. So, also, Mel Hempseed just stepped into the room. She's going to be flying with me here on the show. Mel, you look gorgeous. Why don't you come? You should just come over here right now and fill this little spot next to me. Get your mic set up. So, because it's a glass show, I wanted to bring Mel on because Mel is a glass fanatic, loves the glass. And actually, Mel, you're featured in the new issue of Glass Culture. Or wait, is it? No, which one is it in? Is it in the Glass Culture issue? Yeah, right. Okay,
in the new magazine. For the Great Canadian Glass Gathering.
Right. You were at Redbeard's Glass Gathering, and we're going to have Redbeard on the show. But we'll talk to you about what you thought of the whole Glass Gathering as well. I guess, what time is it? 4:14? Well, why don't you actually tell us a little bit about the Glass Gathering right now, what Redbeard was doing up there. Was this your first year there?
No, this was actually my second year there. But this year I was more set up. Last year I didn't really have a tent, and I wasn't really prepared, and I didn't really know what was really going on. But this year I was a lot more prepared, and except minor problems with our tent.
Oh really? Okay,
missing a couple poles, but that's okay. We figured it out. But no, it was really good. I showed up on the Thursday thanks to Ben Evers, who drove the shuttle bus and drove a lot of us up there and drove the shuttle bus for 2 days, and it was really awesome. And then everyone started to set up and do the glass blowing, and there was a bunch of glass blowers, young, old glass blowers, Ben Evers, Redbeard, Gibson, and then Colby was there. So Colby used to work for you guys.
Nice.
Ben Cater was there. Our friend Ben Broski was there. So there's a lot of people.
Cool.
I even got the chance to go on the torch for a bit.
That's fun. And you want to do more of that, don't you?
Oh yeah, I do. Definitely. I was actually talking today about getting some studio time and how much that would cost, and getting torch time.
And so it's all glass blowing, but it's also camping out basically for 2 or 3 days?
I was camping there, for 3-4 days. But it was pretty good. toughed it out.
Toughed it out, yeah.
Toughed it out. I'm not much of a camper, but it was really good. It was
Very
really
cool.
good.
Awesome. Well, Redbeard's going to come on and tell us more about the whole concept of the glass gathering and how he decided to do that stuff. So that's very cool. What time is it right now? Is it almost 4:20? We're getting
4:12.
closer. What did you say? What time is it? This one is off this time here. I don't have an actual clock that works. What do I got here? I do have one. Oh, it's 4:13, right? Marius?
4:13, yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what we should do? I kind of wanted to just quickly talk about this Obama thing with Harold and Kumar, because I don't know how many people out there saw this video. The Democratic National Convention happened last night, and the host of it was Kumar from Harold and Kumar, and he's actually been working for the White House, and he's been doing stuff for them for a while. They had like a promo video for he was hosting it, so they had this promo video advertising that fact. I didn't actually get to watch the convention. Did anybody here watch it? Did you? Anybody out there get to see it? I didn't see. Maybe they did more pot jokes at the convention.
I usually catch the Daily Show and Colbert Report highlights of these things, but I'm a little bit behind right now.
Oh, I see. Well, we'll have to check John's site out for that stuff. But yeah, I wanted to play the actual video. This is just a little advertisement that was for the convention itself. But I thought it was kind of funny and stupid, but it kind of makes me angry because Obama is such an asshole that he's trying to co-opt parts of our culture while he's fighting us at every stand and trying to crack down on our culture as much as he possibly can. It's a lot like Stephen Harper here in Canada, who sings Beatles songs, Get a Little High with My Friends, and you know, it's all this cultural stuff that belongs to us, basically, that they're trying to co-opt and say, hey man, we're cool. Oh, we got somebody calling in already or something? I don't know if that was this. Okay, I'm gonna turn that off. We have Skype going on in the background. I think Ted is actually hanging out somewhere. But, so anyways, let's play this video. Marius, do you want to cue that video up?
Let's see.
I'm sure many of you have seen this already, but check it out if you haven't seen it.
Oh, I'm a little bit behind. I did not...
Jesus, Marius.
Sorry. No, I was queuing the opening. Somebody didn't put the opening along with this show. I don't know what happened.
I did. It's in the storyboard.
Yeah, sure it is.
Yeah.
So
and if you haven't seen Harold and Kumar, by the way, it's a great film. There's 2 of them, I believe, or is there 3 of them now?
Yeah, there's 3. Yeah, there was Guantanamo Bay, and now there was a Christmas one.
I haven't seen the Christmas one. I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
But anyways, okay, here, check out the video. Harold and Kumar and the President.
Hey, this is Barack. Listen, I need to know if you're on board. Okay, good. Because I'm counting on you. Everybody is. We have to get this right. So there's a lot at stake here. Just remember that I'm trusting you on this, and I'll see you there.
Dude, who was that? Sounded intense.
The president.
Sweet.
Cal Penn hosts the 2012 Democratic National Convention coverage, live from Charlotte, Thursday, September 6th at 8 p.m. Eastern. Tune in at barackobama.com. Be there.
Are we back? Oh.
Yeah, we're back.
So the Choom Gang in full effect, I guess. Obama, total absorption. That's what we're hitting for around here. These are Obama's weed techniques. Total absorption. So the guy, you know, I bet Obama's a secret pothead, goes back to the Oval Office, hotboxes the shit out of it. He's probably got brownies in his drawer at his desk, guaranteed. And maybe he gets some of his old Choom Gang buddies. I'm sure there's been a Volkswagen van spotted around the White House once or twice. Anyways, all right, so let's, why don't we, oh, it's almost 4:20. We should take a bong rip. Melly, where are you going? Okay. So Mel, actually, the girl, Hempseed, who just stepped out for 2 seconds, she gave me the original bong that this one follows in the footsteps of. Mel, I'm telling the story about Princess. Princess was our beautiful bong that Mel gave to me when she moved to Toronto, and unfortunately, it was destroyed by the Bong Slayer.
I backed into her.
Marius, thank you for the joint.
I will never feel good about that.
That's all right.
I'm sorry.
It happens. Glass breaks.
I'm gonna go one day.
That's one of the things about it. So
I broke Mark's bong back in the day.
Oh yeah, you broke one of Mark's tall bongs?
Yeah, kicked it over.
Oh, I remember. I was there.
Yeah, I was actually in your seat.
Yeah, you were sitting in my seat and you spun around in my chair and your boots hit the bong and knocked it over.
But it was funny because I hated that bong the most.
You hit that bong the most?
No, I hated
it. Yeah, you didn't like that one. It had a weird choke in it or something.
Yeah, it was like this ice pinch that was like a donut hole ice pinch, and it was just really weird, and there was no flow.
No, it stopped the air from going through properly. So anyways, where was I? I'm really high now. All this weed's getting to me already. Woo. Or maybe I haven't had enough. Anyways, Princess broke, and we found a girl that's just like her cousin, Duchess, because I love the high guy bongs, and you can't get them anymore like this. They don't have the 3-footer bongs anymore, or they don't make them anymore.
I don't think high guy is even around anymore.
No, I think high guy's still around, but there is some debate as to whether it's in Canada or not. But I've been told many times now that it's definitely in Canada, so at least part of it is going on in Canada. But Duchess is beautiful. And is it even 420 yet? Jeez, it's getting down to the wire. Mel, maybe you should hit this bong first. It's got some hash in it. This is the bubble, actually, the full melt. Bubba-chem.
And John was very kind. He
Johnny B.
gave me some in chronicity here.
Chronicity. Marius is strapped as well. And so, Mel, what do you got here? This crazy looking little spider contraption.
This is my oil rig that I use to make butane oil.
Nice. And maybe we should show it off to the camera. And it's very cool. You use the torch on it. It's got a titanium plate on it, right?
Yeah.
It looks kind of like a weird Wild Wild West villain from that Will Smith movie. You know?
Oh, yeah, at the very end.
The spider thing?
Yeah, the spider thing.
Yeah, the movie sucks, by the way. But
Hey, no.
Oh,
I actually love that movie.
you like that movie? Well, some people like it, I guess. I wasn't a huge fan.
I think that's a badass movie. This was made for me by HMK. It was actually it was made for
Happy
me to replace
420.
one
Happy
that was
420.
stolen from me, sadly.
Uh-oh.
At the TY Expo.
Yeah, your pelican.
Yep. The missing orange pelican.
The missing pelican.
Sad face.
So you're heating up the tie plate, and then it swings on under, and you just put your extract on it
Yeah.
through the little dome piece, and bam. All right, it's 420, so we should be smoking.
Let's try and catch up with you.
Everybody out here is smoking something in the room, and Marijuana Man is over there smoking too. Everybody has something up their lips right now. Kissing glass.
I'll do my bong rip after you guys, so I can switch the cameras.
Oh yeah. Sure. There's Marius in chronicity. Wow. I'm gonna be too wrecked to even do the rest of the show pretty quick here. That's all right. Usually I'm like
Happens from time to
super
time.
high by the end of the show, but I might as well do it at the beginning of the show. It's more entertaining that way for the studio audience and the audience at home. Well, the chatters are out there. Like a boss. That's right. So, we never actually take questions from the chat or anything like that. We probably should do more chat interaction on the show. But the problem is, it's hard for me to watch the chat while I'm doing the show, and you're busy doing stuff.
Well, I've been typing with the chat. They've been talking about my name change. So I try to keep an eye on it a lot more these days. But when we have guests on, we should ask them if they have any questions.
Exactly. That's what I mean, yeah. We should watch the chat and see if people want to know anything that we don't ask ourselves. All right. So, do you grow?
Do you grow your
grow
own
my
yet?
own yet? No, I don't. I wish I could. I live in a rental space, and my landlord isn't really friendly with it. I don't want to move. I guess I could try it somewhere else. I'm not legal, of course. I don't have a medical license or anything like that. But that, wouldn't necessarily stop me. Yeah, I'd like to try it. I really would. I have a lot of growers that I was close with when I grew up, so I definitely know a little bit about it. I've been around it pretty much my whole life, but I have never actually tried it myself, so it's pretty sad. I probably should. All right, so we should probably bring Ted on now. He may be lurking around in the background here, behind our screen. I do see Skype there. Hold on a second here. I was going to play a video in between so you guys didn't have to watch me do all this screwing around.
There's Ted. I think he's
I
watching.
don't really care. There's Ted. Hey, Ted.
Hi, Ted.
Oh, hold on. We'll turn on the volume here. Actually, how do we get this full screen? There we go. Hey, Ted. How you doing, man? I don't know if you can hear us. Oh. Did we just lose him? Maybe we just lost him. Oh, there he is. Hey, Ted. Hello there.
Hello?
Can you hear us, Ted?
Yeah, my wireless isn't working that great here.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. It might be a little bit choppy. Are you on video right now? We can't see you yet, but we did see you just a second ago.
Yeah, it looks like there's a video of me coming, but I can't tell what the hell's going on.
It might be a little slow or something. It's possible.
The internet might be laggy. It's Friday afternoon.
Yeah, that's true. Internet.
We always have that problem.
But anyways, did you press the little video button though? That's the one thing you got to do.
Yeah, it looks like it's supposed to be working.
Okay. All right. Well, we can talk to you this way anyway, Ted. It's good to have you on the show. Back again.
Shit, now you're gone, period.
Uh-oh. We could always do it by phone.
Oh.
Here, I'm just going to call him straight away.
This is pretty annoying.
Sorry, Ted. Oh, that's okay, man. I don't know if you can hear me right now. Can you hear me, Ted? I guess not. So we'll just call him instead.
I can hear you now.
Can you, Ted? Should I just call you on the telephone instead?
Well, if you guys can hear each other.
It doesn't sound like it's working very well.
Just call me at the store?
Yeah. Well, I'm just calling you right now on the other line. I'll call you at the store.
But you guys can hear each other.
Yeah, we can hear each other, but is it going to be working for long?
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. We can do it here instead. I'll just put the microphone up to this.
Nice. Yeah, I forgot about the lag.
All right. Sorry, guys, out there. Little technical difficulties. That's okay. You guys are smoking now.
Hey, Jeremiah.
Hey, man. How you doing?
Okay, except for this, but...
Well, you know what? It sounds okay. We got you here now. I'll turn the volume up a little bit here, maybe. I think that's about as loud as we go. Hopefully you guys out there will be able to hear that. Can you guys hear him out there? Maybe tell us in the chat.
Okay.
It's looking good?
Everything okay, guys?
They can hear me all right?
Yeah.
2 test.
They can hear you. I can't hear you very well, but it sounds like they can hear you okay. So, Ted, we should talk about a couple different things that have been going on for you guys there in Victoria. Of course, just a few days ago, there was the march for the 17th anniversary of the International Hempology Society, 101 Society. So maybe we should talk about that first, Ted.
Sure, it was a lot of fun dressing up and marching to City Hall. We do that every year and take a picture of the group at City Hall dressed up in costumes, and I give out prize bongs to the winner of the game show, Reach for the Pot. We do a tournament here once a year, so I gave out some bongs and some other prizes, and smoked a bunch of herb at the ledge. It's always a lot of fun to get out in downtown Victoria and get people thinking more about pot and laughing, taking pictures of us, and it's really fun evening. And earlier in the day, we were actually up at the university kind of kicking off the day at 4:20. We had our first session of the year, and so it's really nice to kind of kick off the school year and then march to City Hall for the anniversary.
Cool, man. Well, maybe, Ted, can you tell people a little bit about the International Hempology Society? And, this is their 17th anniversary. That's a long time you guys have been around.
Yeah, we've been around doing stuff here a long time. I moved here 17 years ago in a van, basically, and just started teaching people about cannabis. And now we've earlier, he does the chemistry lesson, and we put all of our lectures up on YouTube, and we do an annual convention there, which also gets up on YouTube. And now we're expanding to other campuses. We have a club at UBC in Vancouver there, one more up island at Vancouver Island University, and one even in New Brunswick at Mount Allison University. And we're hoping to expand onto more campuses and do things like movie nights and conventions and have speakers and stuff there. But not only do we work at the university, but we've also published a newspaper, the Cannabis Digest, for a couple of years now. And we print 10,000 of them and send them across the country, trying to educate people about what's happening with the movement. And finally, after 17 years, I've also published a book, Hempology 101, the history and uses of cannabis. I don't know if the film's working at all there, but certainly it's up on Amazon and everything now. But yeah, the book is going to help us expand to a lot more universities than we're at already, and it's really exciting year for us.
Excellent, Ted. And I love the seminars you guys put on, the Hempology 101 at the colleges themselves. I've been to a few of them, and they're really great. You always have great speakers and guests there. But Ted, I also wanted to ask you about, we're actually getting a little bit of an echo. Are you watching the show right now, Ted?
Yeah, should I shut my computer off?
Yeah, you should probably just turn the sound off.
Okay.
It's like one of those old radio things, you know. The echo.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, no worries, man. But yeah, so this latest thing. Now, I opened my news this morning, my little RSS feed from the CBC, not the Cannabis Buyers Club, but the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, and I saw a story about you, actually, Ted, and about the Cannabis Buyers Club. So now I'm confusing everybody. But yeah, so maybe tell us about what's going on with the Cannabis Buyers Club. And the story that I saw tonight was about the Canadian federal government, or the taxman, coming breathing down your neck, Ted.
Well, yeah, it's been pretty intense. Just backing up maybe a bit, last spring, my work, I haven't mentioned the Buyers Club yet, but for 16 years now I've been selling cannabis products to sick people here in Victoria. And about 3 years ago, when Baker was busted and charged with trafficking in THC for making cookies and skin products. Well, this spring, a judge ruled that the regulations were unconstitutional because they didn't allow patients to make extracts. And ironically, though, he also ruled that we should proceed with the jury trial. So we still have a jury trial coming up next February. But the Victoria Police apparently took the court decision and went to Revenue Canada. And in the court decision, it says, some things about, not paying or collecting HST or employee deductions. And so the police, in some ways, I think have decided along with us that we're a, kind of legitimate business. And, I would like to think that, this means, kind of a step out of the criminal world into the legitimate world. But, anyway, so the CRA came to the club about 4 months ago and said that they wanted their HST and employee deductions. And they've actually been pretty considerate, and they only want me to submit information for this year. And they're not going after me for years past like they could. And I haven't done anything criminal, so I'm not going to jail here. It's just I'm not in compliance, or nor is the club. And so they've given me a bill of $147,000 for the first 6 months of this year. And we actually started to charge HST in late July and are giving out receipts at the club now. So we're working towards being in compliance with the law. And I guess, part of what we've decided to do in a way to take advantage of this situation is to form a nonprofit society. We're going to call it actually the Victoria Cannabis Buyers Club, which is the original name of the group back years ago. That's what it actually started as. And so we're going to incorporate the Victoria Cannabis Buyers Club, and I'm going to sell the business to on getting my book published for years, and really wanted this group to operate on its own. From the very beginning, this club was never meant to be mine. It's a community organization, and it's kept me in food and clothes, but it really was not something that I want to be a member of. Like, I don't want a chronic pain or some kind of other issue. And honestly, I want to be at universities and holding events and movie nights and doing other things in the public, doing stuff with hemp. We were in hemp fields in northern Saskatchewan a couple weeks ago. We put a video up, and I really want to get more into the emerging hemp industry, and really bring or build some bridges back with the hemp community. And so I have a lot of other stuff that I was already planning on doing.
Yeah, well, you're a really busy guy all the time.
Pardon?
You're a really busy guy all the time, Ted. You're one of the busiest guys I know. I don't know how you guys pull off everything you do in such a short amount of time every year. It's crazy.
Well, I'm a man on a mission here, and the more I work with this plant and the people that fight for it, the more inspired I am. And so, providing cookies to little old ladies, it really is almost a rush. Being able to help people, so dramatically with such a simple thing. I can't imagine, waking up and deciding that I'm just going to go and enjoy my life and let people suffer and the world go to hell. And so, after 17 years, I think I have more of a fire in my belly than ever, because now I've finally got my book behind me. I got a court decision that again proves the government is completely out of step with reality, and really the momentum in this industry is really invigorating.
Well, and Ted, it's good to hear that. Now, just back about the whole government thing itself, you are yourself going to be stuck with the bill, the expensive, what was it, $1,500?
Yeah, about 150,000. Yeah.
150,000. Sorry. Yeah, 150,000. So that's something that you have to deal with. That's a tough hit for you to take.
It is, but I'm not going to jail. Honestly, I thought for years that I was likely going to go to jail for some, evading taxes. But as it is, I haven't actually done anything illegal or criminal. I'm just not in compliance. And the CRA here just wants to see the club in compliance. And, it's something that, in a way, if all I have is a $150,000 bill for, all the work that I've done and how far we've gotten, and if I can see that, the Buyers Club is able to, take over and from day one be in full compliance of the law and operate as a, full nonprofit society in so many ways, that would be incredibly rewarding. I got into this when I lived in a van. I had nothing to lose. I have the most expensive thing I own is a gold tooth. They can't take anything from me that I don't have. And so, I hope to sell millions of my books.
That's right.
That's my goal.
And so,
if that happens, then I'll be able to pay them back. And if it doesn't, well, then I'll look at my options. But,
right.
I'm not going to sweat it over a $150,000 bill.
No kidding. Well, and Ted, where can people find your book online to purchase, and where can people find more information about all of the stuff you're doing?
Okay, well, hempology.ca is our main webpage. And if you go to the sidebar of that, you can see that we've got a store and we sell some stickers and buttons and other stuff. But you can buy the book there. It is on Amazon too, but I get more money if you buy it from me. And then also there's links there to the Cannabis Buyers Club, to the Cannabis Digest newspaper. There's links to other stuff there. The book is for sale in Cannabis Culture in Vancouver. At this point, you guys might be one of the only stores selling it there. I don't have my shit together at all. I'm selling it all over the country, but my back here. But,
someone wanted to know if it's going to be available on Kindle.
Yeah, and we're going to be over there in a couple weeks. UBC Clubs Days, the 20th and 21st of September. We're going to be up at the university for a couple days. So if you're a UBC student or want to come up and hang out with us there, we could, the more the merrier too.
Ted, is your book available on Kindle? One of our chatters asked.
No, not yet.
Okay.
I've heard of that one, but the book's really just 2 months old, and I've been traveling. Like we drove to northern Saskatchewan last month. We went to Ontario the month before. I've had Revenue Canada after me. Published in the newspaper and everything. It's I haven't got it in libraries and everything like that yet, but it's coming.
As I said, you've been a busy guy. Ted, thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it. And is just the website one more time for people that they can find out more?
Thanks, buddy. Hempology.ca.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Ted. We'll talk to you again soon.
Cheers. Thank you, buddy. Have an awesome day.
Yeah, you too.
Okay, bye.
All right, Ted Smith, great activist in Victoria, British Columbia, really doing a lot of hard work there. All right, I think, Marius, we should play one of those videos, and we'll try and set things up with Mr. Marco Renda. He's going to try and Skype in. Hopefully his connection's a little better than Ted's. We'll try and figure that out. Why don't we play, this is a clip from the Young Turks. I really like the Young Turks. These guys are great. I try and play as many videos as I can of these guys because I think they're so awesome, very cool. And Marius, do you know which one that is?
No.
It's the DEA rated over 4 times one. So this is a clip about Obama, for all you Obama lovers out there. I'm sure there's probably none watching the show, but this is the Young Turks' take on Obama and his pot crusade. Let's check it out.
Los Angeles has over 1,000 pot clinics, but I should be clear, they used to. Then all of a sudden, President Obama got tough on medical dispensaries throughout the country, and then all of a sudden Los Angeles decided they were going to get tough, and they said they're going to close all of the pot clinics by September 6th. Here's what happened afterwards.
The city is taking what some consider some very drastic steps. As you mentioned, the city attorney's office has put these clinics on notice that as of September 6th, they will have to close their doors or face legal action and some very stiff fines.
Today's vote drew an angry response from some medicinal marijuana advocates. The debate in council chambers heated from the beginning.
I see people out here that need medical marijuana.
What are we showing our children about marijuana? That it's okay to use it?
The city says the problem has been regulation. They've tried to regulate these clinics. The clinics have responded with lawsuits.
Well, the reality is these should be perfectly legal. We have medical marijuana that is legal in California. But last Wednesday, or this Wednesday, I should say, just a couple of days ago, Bernard Parks, with 2 minutes left at the end of a meeting, all of a sudden had this interesting request. Watch this.
This LAPD and work with the DEA at the federal government and the district attorney to create a citywide enforcement strategy dealing with medical marijuana collectives.
That's an LA council member, and if you didn't understand what he was saying, I'll translate it for you. DEA, come on down! Come to LA and help us shut down all these clinics that should be legal. Now, I remember a guy running for president who said he would not use federal resources to do this kind of thing. Well, I wonder what his name was. Well, let's try to find out.
What I'm not going to be doing is using Justice Department resources to try to circumvent state laws on this issue, simply because I want folks to be investigating violent crimes and potential terrorism. We've got a lot of things for our law enforcement officers to deal with.
We do, but apparently they're going to be busy helping LA bust legal medical marijuana instead. In fact, LA is not the only place. They've already done raids in California already, in a place called Oaksterdam in Northern California. Here was part of that raid.
You're wasting your tax dollars doing this, folks. Wake up, folks. Wake up, folks. Leave her alone.
Now, to give you a sense of how much President Obama was not telling the truth in that clip that we showed you earlier, well, he has way outshined President Bush in how many raids he's done. 170 DEA raids since 2009. In all of the 8 years of Bush, he only did 40 DEA raids, 61 federal indictments under President Obama, only 1 federal indictment under President Bush. Now, understand, these are legal in those states, but he's using federal resources to say, I don't care, I'm going to get war on drugs, I'm going to get you guys, it's illegal on the federal level. Oh, terrific. You're so tough. We really appreciate it. All right, now let me bring in an expert on this. David Borden is the founder and executive director of StopTheDrugWar.org. David, what in the world is wrong with President Obama? Why is he obsessed with this stupid war on drugs?
Well, I don't know if President Obama necessarily is obsessed with this. The decisions are being made by U.S. attorneys in the states where this is happening. There's coordination. There's definitely coordination with Washington. We don't really know to what extent the president is.
We certainly know he's not stopping
impetus.
it. We certainly know he's not stopping it. We know that he put Michelle Leonhardt, who's a Bush radical, as the head of the DEA. Now, if you didn't want to do a war on drugs on steroids, Michelle Leonhardt really wouldn't be the person that you'd put at the DEA, would she?
No, you're absolutely right. And something that hasn't come up a lot in the discussion is that the executive branch, under current law, actually has the authority to reschedule marijuana for medical use without Congress having to take the action. They just have to make the finding. DEA officials have, in fact, recommended that going back to the 80s. And so the president could solve this problem with the stroke of a pen, and so far he hasn't.
So if he wanted to tomorrow, he could sign something saying, hey, you know what, it's no longer Class 1. In fact, Michelle Leonhardt, we've shown it on the show before, she had the ridiculous congressional testimony saying, oh, marijuana, yeah, it could be just as bad as heroin or crack. It's ridiculous, right? But he could change that tomorrow, but he's choosing not to. So what's going on here? What's the real motivation? Like, we've been doing this war on drugs for a million years. It's been an absolute, utter failure. We spent $1 trillion. Why are we continuing it? What's driving people like President Obama or L.A. to keep on this stupid war on drugs?
Well, I suspect the president has people around him who, he talks to many people, but I'm sure DOJ officials are not so keen on taking marijuana out of the equation. What would you spend all the drug war budget on? If you've spent your life fighting the war on drugs, you don't want to believe that it was all a bad idea or that a big part of it was a bad idea. So I'm sure all those things are going on.
All right, well, but sad day for them because it was a bad idea and they did waste their lives. All right, David Borden, thank you for fighting a good fight. We appreciate you joining us today on the Young Turks.
Thank you.
All right, now when we come back.
All right, that was the Young Turks. Obama, worse than George Bush on raids. Wow. By a lot, it seemed like, by the numbers there. Well, it's not hard to believe. Obama's been relentless. Rob Campia had a good article about that before. He went from the best to worst on from talk to walking the worst, basically. He's been cracking down worse than any other president. So, but we have Marco Renda with us right now. Marco, publisher of Treating Yourself magazine, founder of the Treating Yourself Expo, and of course you have all kinds of other ventures going on. Vape on the Lake, you have One of a Kind Glass, and now you have Glass Culture magazine. That's your newest project.
Yeah.
And so, Marco, good to have you on the show. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me on the show again.
Yeah, we love having you on. Now, that's a long list of stuff. My God, you got a lot going on. Maybe more than Ted Smith. I don't know, he has a big list too, but tell us about this latest one, the Glass Culture magazine.
Well, I have Chris Carlson, one of the top glass blowers, one of the many top glass blowers of America, helping me with this project. And we decided to put something out because there's nothing out there really for glass enthusiasts. There's publications that are like for lamp workers and such, but really nothing for the collector and the enthusiast, somebody that wants to learn what's going on, what's new in the industry and such. So we decided to put it out, and what better way to promote it by putting it with issue 36 of Treating Yourself. It's an instant 35,000 distribution throughout North America. And then, between C&G Glass in the U.S. and One of a Kind Glass in Canada, there's an additional 12,000. So for the very first issue, we're looking at 45,000 distribution.
I got a shot of it right here. I don't know if you can see me there, Marco.
Yeah.
There, yeah.
Now, like the first issue of Treating Yourself, it's thin, although it does have more pages than the first issue, Treating Yourself. The second issue of Glass Culture will have approximately 108 pages. So it'll be it'll be like 2.5 times the size of the premier issue. And we wanted to focus too on Redbeard, on the Glass Gathering, on the TY Flame Off, and on the 710 show. Just give it a little bit of flavor, see what people, what they have to look for.
Yeah, very cool. It looks great. See, so I always figured, it's hard to photograph glass and make it look really good in a magazine. So, I think you guys have done a great job actually of making the glass really stand out. The backgrounds look great, and the photos are awesome.
And if you notice the quality of the paper is extremely thicker than the Treating Yourself magazine. So the cost is going to be a little bit higher, but when you're trying to show pictures and high quality glass, you're best to show, spend a little bit of extra money and do quality paper.
Yeah, very glossy cover, and the paper is really strong feeling. Looks good. And so this is, how often does this one come out then?
This is coming out bi-monthly, so it'll come out 2 weeks after the Treating Yourself issue.
Okay, and bi-monthly meaning every 2 months, not every 2 weeks.
Months.
Yeah, right, okay.
6 issues a year.
Right.
Now, I could tell you in issue 2, we're going to have a story on the headiest glass galleries, like 42 Degrees, Ghost Mask, an interview with Ghost, and German glassworking techniques, marble art like Vernier, Millie work, so it's not just having bongs and such on there. So we want to cover the whole thing. We're going to have interviews with the artists as well.
Awesome. And Marco, let's talk more about glass. And you have a store called One of a Kind Glass, and you've really been pushing this glass. So at TY, you had a big glass blowing competition there. And you really like this stuff. Obviously, it's pretty amazing. What made you want to really go the glass route?
Well, I was on a trip to the High Times Cannabis Cup in Amsterdam about 3 years ago, and I ran into a guy from Percolated who had a booth there, and the folks from C&G Glass were there as well. And some of the pieces I've never seen before. I just kind of fell in love with the artwork. And it was just intriguing. I'm not a bong guy. I don't smoke from bongs. Sure, I do dabs. I have my rigs for dabs. But when I medicate with my cannabis or with my hash, it's always been through vaporizers. So it was more intriguing for me to see the style and the workmanship that goes into these pieces of glass. So I managed to get the guys from C&G and Percolated to come into the expo last year, and they had a booth in there as well as One of a Kind, and that's pretty much where we launched the glass distribution. And it took us some time before we were able to find a location in Toronto or a landlord that would allow us to open up a glass gallery in addition to a vapor lounge. And so, in November of last year, we were able to open up the vapor lounge, and in December we opened up the glass gallery. And it's been an uphill battle, but I think we're over the hump.
Mm-hmm. And so why do you say it's been an uphill battle? It's hard, I guess, really to get the customers in and that kind of stuff?
Well, starting out any new business, it's always going to, if you're thinking you're just going to open up a shop and open up a brand new business and think you're just going to turn around and make money, right away, it's not going to happen. Yeah. You need to nurture it. And the glass industry in Canada really needs to be nurtured and to educate the consumer. Like, there's a lot of artists in Canada here that are, now up and coming. We have Redbeard, we have Corey Connell, we have quite a few blowers like Van Evers. So we want to get them to the forefront, just like the North American blowers, like Golds, like Paco and such. And the only way to do that is by promoting them. And we're not going to see any publication from down south of the border coming up here to do the events, to see these growers, to really get to know them. And this is where we're coming in and what we want to do. We want to get to be in with the glass artists. We want to recognize them for the work that they do. We want to eliminate this China glass and these copycats, because all they're doing is they're taking the work of these artists and mass producing it with inferior glass.
Right, the copycats and all of that stuff. Yeah.
The prime example of Cheech Glass out of Ontario, Amin, who owns High Times shop in Niagara Falls. I knew him. I helped him be a legitimate roar dealership, but greed got to him, and he went the Asian route and started selling fake roars. And he got hammered with a lawsuit. He stopped selling the roars as fake, and then what he did is he just put his label on it as Cheech Glass. So now there's a new company called Cheech Glass, and you'll see they've copied the Swiss Perks, they've copied the Illidale, they've copied the Toros.
Yeah.
You know, it's ridiculous. It's unethical. And one of the things we won't do at Glass Culture or at Treating Yourself, we won't represent or allow any unethical companies to be present at any of our events.
Oh, well, that's good to hear, man.
Or in our publication.
Now, let's talk about Treating Yourself. I have the latest issue right here that comes with the Glass Culture. Treating Yourself, how long have you been publishing Treating Yourself now for?
We're going on to 8 years now.
Wow.
And our distribution now is at 35,000 in the U.S.
That's
we
great.
got about 5,000 in Canada and 5,000 in international. So we're doing a 45,000 distribution now.
And there's a lot of great stuff in Treating Yourself. As it says right on the front, a journal for patients by patients. Marco, why is that important? Like a journal for patients by patients? Because they're the ones who know, right?
Yeah, basically, you know, it eliminates the stigma that, you know, we're just trying to say that cannabis is good for our health. It helps us with our ailments. It shows that now doctors are really having it in their waiting rooms. They're reading it. You know, I have subscriptions on a daily basis coming from doctors' offices asking me for copies. Doctors want to get educated. And let's face it, they're not getting educated by Health Canada. They're not getting educated by the U.S. federal government. So, you know, the U.S. have had a medical program for 32 years now. But the same can't be said. But they're still raiding dispensaries. They're still going after patients. Here in Canada, we've had it since, what, 2000? The Supreme Court of Canada ordered the Health Canada to put a program in place. Yet, 2012, we're still at square one. And now Health Canada wants to remove our grow permits. It doesn't make any sense. The program hasn't worked since day one. And I think the only way that we're going to see cannabis legalized here in Canada is by proving that the government has failed since 1999. And they haven't followed through on any court order, including any court battles that we've won. I've been involved with HISIC, and they, you know, like I said, we're back to square one.
And so, Marco, what kind of articles would you find in Treating Yourself? You know, what's up, Marius?
You need to stand closer to the mic if you're going to speak to the...
Right. Well, maybe just tell us about what you find inside Treating Yourself.
There's articles by doctors about the benefits of cannabis, of how it helps with various cancers, how it helps with PTSD. There's articles there about events. PACE involves itself in going around Ontario, involving itself and participating in events. You have writers in the U.S. that follow through with what's going on, the laws and each state and how they're changing. There's recipes, something for everyone. Something, you know, grow information. We try and have something for everyone. And the thing is that what I'm very proud of is that even though if someone can't get a copy of Treating Yourself at their local store not available in their country, they can download all the previously published issues for free online.
Awesome, man. And that's at treatingyourself.com or .ca?
It's treatingyourself.com, and you can just click on published issues, just click on an issue that they would like to see and read. And what this does too is if they're going to a doctor, they could search through all the various publications and see what articles pertains to them that they could take to the doctor. Because a lot of these articles just aren't written by the patients, they're written by doctors and researchers. There's an excellent article about cancer from Dr. Robert Bellamy.
Very cool. Yeah, I've read Treating Yourself a lot of times. I love Treating Yourself. There's a lot of good stuff in here. And not just for patients either. You don't have to be a patient to read Treating Yourself, because there's a lot of great articles about all kinds of stuff.
It's good to get educated, how to grow good cannabis. Who better to learn than from a patient that's growing it for proper reasons, right? Not for monetary reasons.
Right. Right, exactly. Well, very cool. And so let's also talk about the Treating Yourself Expo, Marco. This is something that you've been doing. We've had 3 of them so far. And
yeah, we have a 4th one coming up May 24th to 26th, 2013 in Toronto. We were working diligently to try and get an event in Vancouver for 2013. We have a venue, but just not the dates. It's sometimes you got to book these things like 2 and 3 years in advance just to get the date that you want. Like there's a lot of conferences that goes on in these conference centers. We would have liked to do it at the PNE, but they refused us. So what we're going to do, since we're not having a hard time getting dates for 2013, we're going to help the guys from push.ca and Sandra and Remo from Advanced Nutrients on their Health Expo that's being held at PNE. So one way or another, Treating Yourself is going to be out west. We'll be in Vancouver. We will be representing, and we will be sponsoring events out there. The first event that we sponsored, that's I don't know if you would want to call it underground, but it's invite only, is the Great Canadian Glass Gathering. And it was Treating Yourself and One of a Kind Glass. We sponsored that.
Right.
And we're proud to. You know, we're Canadian. We want to help Canadian companies succeed.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
Ethical Canadian companies succeed.
Right, and that's rare.
Yeah. And guys like Redbeard need all the help that we can give them.
And we're going to have Redbeard on the show, actually, right after you, Marco. And, yeah, hopefully we'll get him talking about the glass gathering as well. You were able to actually to go back. There we are.
And we're back.
Okay, we're back. Not sure what happened there. Sorry about that, guys. So, Marco, that's cool that you guys are coming out here one way or another. And this Glass Culture magazine, I think that's going to be successful. Everybody's loving the glass these days a lot. It's becoming more popular all the time. So thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Is there any website addresses you want to drop right now?
glassculturemagazine.com and treatingyourselfexpo.com. And anybody that wants to read previous issues of Treating Yourself can go to treatingyourself.com and click on published issues. We will be making all Glass Culture publications available also as a free PDF download once we the new issues go online on sale.
Excellent. Well, thanks for coming on, Marco, and we'll have you back on again soon to talk about one of your many projects, I'm sure.
I hope to see you when I come back to Vancouver in a couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah, man. Come on down to 307 West Hastings here on the Pod Block. Hopefully I'll be around this time when you come by. I know I missed you last time you were here.
And just let me know if you want any copies for the shop or for the staff there. Just send me an email and I'll have my mailing. I'll send them off to you.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Marco. We'll
Thank
talk
you.
soon.
Have a good evening.
Yeah, you too.
Cheers.
All right, that was Marco Renda. Very cool. Yeah, Marco is a great guy. He's really done a lot, and the Treating Yourself Expos themselves, I think, are just a testament to what this guy's really capable of doing. I have a lot of fun at the Treating Yourself Expo, and it's quite a production. It takes a lot to make something like that happen, a hell of a lot. It's a big, you know, at the convention center there in Toronto. It's the biggest, one of the biggest, definitely the biggest commercial pot thing going on in Canada. Oh, thank you. It's everybody there together, and we get to see a lot of friends when we're there. That's why it's fun. Everybody seems to be able to make it out for that one, or a lot of people anyway. John gets to go, and Mel, you've been. These guys, Marius hasn't been yet, but maybe we'll get him going one of these years.
Yeah, I can't cross the border into Ontario.
He's a fugitive in Ontario. Too many parking tickets.
I've never been there, but you know, I just don't have the proper passport. I don't know what that means, guys.
You don't need a passport.
I'm just.
Anyways, that was Marco. I guess we should go to another video clip here, and then on the other side we'll be talking with Redbeard of Redbeard Glass from here in British Columbia. They're asking if you're high yet, Marius Stoner, who's now changed his name to Marius Stoner.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit of a buzz.
Yeah. Me too. I'm
So,
really high.
are we gonna go to between 1897 and 2007?
Oh yeah, that's the one we should watch.
Okay.
Tom Hartman, I believe.
All right.
And yeah, this one is kind of shocking and terrible. Looks like another Mox News clip. Love those guys, Mox News. And also I Am Hemp 420 on YouTube or something along those lines. That guy's really good too. They clip out a lot of these videos and make them available in one spot, which is very nice. It's a good resource for people. I go there often. Mox News is one of those. Mox News is great. I really like them too, so check them out. Anyways, check this clip out too.
Besides the fact that it took 16 minutes for Chris Christie to even mention Mitt Romney's name, there's even more proof that Christie's speech must not have been vetted by the Romney campaign. Check out what Christie said last night about the GI Bill.
Dad grew up in poverty, and after returning from Army service, he worked at the Breyers ice cream plant in the 1950s. Now, with that job and the GI Bill, he put himself through Rutgers University at night to become the first in his family to earn a college degree.
That's right. Chris Christie praised the GI Bill for letting his father become the first member of his family to go to college. Of course, the GI Bill is part of a massive government investment in education that was signed by FDR in 1944, something that Mitt Romney and the rest of the Republican Party are absolutely opposed to, which is really a shame because our nation desperately needs investments in education. But instead, the United States seems to be spending all of its money on incarceration instead of education. According to a recent Pew Research Center report, between 1987 and 2007, nationwide spending on prisons increased 127%. But nationwide spending on higher education only went up 21%. State of Pennsylvania, for example, prison spending is double education spending. Thanks to the failed war on drugs, in the last 30 years, the incarceration rate in America has jumped from 220 people out of every 100,000 to 743 out of every 100,000. That equates to 2 million more prisoners in America, a quarter of whom are nonviolent drug offenders. And for the first time in history, both prison spending and student loan debt have each topped $1 trillion. We haven't heard anything about the failed drug war yet at the RNC, and frankly, I doubt we will. But isn't it time we end it and divert that money wasted on it to sending more young Americans to college? Mark Harrell joins me now. He's an attorney, libertarian commentator, and author of the book Observations of White Noise, an acid test for the First Amendment. Mark, welcome back.
Thank you.
Good to have you with us.
Thanks.
Usually you and I are fighting about some topic, but I am guessing that this, at least the notion of rolling back the drug war, is something with which you would agree.
Oh, absolutely. The drug war's been out of control. We look at the numbers, and I think in 1980, 10% were drug abusers, drug users, people who possess drugs, about 10% of the overall prison population. Now it's more like 25%. And what changed, of course, was just say no. Anytime a government goes to war against its people, and you declare a war on drugs, a war on whatever, you're going to have problems. Marijuana is one of the biggest problems. People shouldn't be in jail for possessing marijuana. I don't think people should be in jail for using marijuana. It needs to be classified differently. It's in there with ecstasy and heroin. They need to decriminalize marijuana. They need to change the 1970 Controlled Substances Act. And they need to take a lot of steps. We have too many people in prison. We've basically declared war on people and people in this country, we've criminalized a lot of things that shouldn't be criminalized, and because we have so many laws, people break them, and then as we've talked about, because of ALEC, because of the big business of private prisons, and we've talked about this, I'm usually for privatization, but not for the military, not for prisons, because I have a law enforcement background. When you really look at this, there is big money in truth in sentencing laws. There is big money in a lot, 3 strikes laws. They fill up the beds, and there's big money in filling those beds for private prisons.
Yeah, and that's that line between the commons, the stuff that we all collectively should be doing, and outside the commons where the private enterprise operates. You would think that in the 30s, when we experienced Prohibition, and John Dillinger and all that stuff, and then we ended Prohibition, that we would have learned a lesson out of that. What do you think are the forces that have maintained this war on drugs all these years? Why is this so persistent?
Well, the big one is the emergence of the private prison industry. There's a lot of different things. I think there's social conservatives, certain social conservatives, many of whom are Republicans, will tell you they're for small government, are for big government in law enforcement. Right. They believe that, and I think that there's a morality play. I think people actually think somehow it's a drug, and I think it can be harmful. But whether it's good or bad, it's a drug. We all use drugs. I've used caffeine all day long. Every one of us here is probably on a drug. Yeah. Some of the drugs are probably worse than marijuana. But the bottom line here is it's gotten into a thing where we've gotten lockstep, that the law passed, we have these 5 controlled substance schedules, we've gotten locked into this, and the money that follows. The other reason is, we can debate about whether there should be federal grants for law enforcement. But if there are federal grants for law enforcement agencies will follow the money. And where a lot of the money is in drug enforcement. If we reprioritize and the federal grants to local and state law enforcement were to do other things, like combat child sex predators, they would redistribute their allocation to get that money. Yeah. So it's systemic, and it's gotten so ingrained. What amazes me is, just like you said, Prohibition, we didn't learn our lesson. We went as far as amending our Constitution, and we could change that with the 21st Amendment. But here we've got statutes like the 1970 Controlled Substances Act. Almost everyone agrees the drug war is not working, but we can't get these laws off the books. It's not even an amendment. It's just a law. We should repeal it.
It's crazy. And the fact that we're spending twice as, like Pennsylvania, for example, spending twice as much on prisons as schools says something very bad about our priorities, doesn't it?
Well, it says a lot about our priorities. Absolutely. It says a lot about our priorities. We continue to incarcerate people. And, of course, the incarceration of people affects. It's all tied in together about quality of life. But, on this one, we do agree. This war on drugs, anytime the government declares war on the people, it never works. And the fallout's always large.
Mark Harold, thanks for dropping by.
Sure.
Great to see you.
News. These guys are cool. Marius.
Hey, everyone.
Assistant editor of Cannabis Culture Magazine. Is that mic working okay? There were people complaining about it not working very well or something.
I had it down low because I tried to get rid of the double mic effect and then forgot to turn it on when you first came back on, but it's okay now.
I see.
Sorry about that. Forgive my lack of tie today, but I hiked the grouse grind today, which is basically hiking up the side of grouse.
The tie isn't mandatory, by the way.
With my friend Tyler, who works at the lounge here. Yeah, it was a good experience.
Nice, up the grouse grind. So what is that for people who don't know?
Well, we have in North Vancouver, which is a suburb of Vancouver, but right across from downtown, from Burrard Inlet, there are a couple of mountains, and one of them is the Grouse Mountain, which people ski on a lot. And in the summer, usually they go up by gondola, but hikers have been walking up it. And it's a pretty steep climb. It looks to me like, I don't know, 35 or something. Not, that is, sorry, 45 or 50 grade, most of it, or even more, even from here.
I don't know what that means.
I'll have to take a protractor to see the exact angle that you're going up.
Okay. I see. The grade of the angle.
Yeah, so I think like 50 degrees.
Okay.
So anyways, it's like a lot of really, a lot of stairs.
Wow.
And it's very intense and very trying for an old man like me.
Wow. Well, that's fun.
It was good. So that's why I'm sort of in different attire.
I see.
But yesterday I went to a protest in Vancouver next to the Pan Pacific Hotel or the Vancouver Convention Center because Harper was speaking at 2 o'clock.
Old Steve.
Yeah, and from the buzz that I got, he was speaking to Chinese
Is that what it?
Yeah.
Is that what he was doing there? We don't even know what he was doing there. Huh?
I think so. It was sort of a last minute. Some people had.
What he was. Yeah, I know.
Some people had bought seats to get in there, but at great expense.
They had these
but they were denied.
dinners. Oh, really?
Some of the activists had bought seats and were denied. Yeah, I got there shortly before 1, and there was maybe a dozen people there or more. There were some benches, and it's a kind of a triangular area in front of the. I'll have some pictures up on Cannabis Culture. It's a kind of a triangular area, and a couple of people sat down, and a few people were near the trees and the benches, and it was more or less an open space. And then by 1 o'clock, I must have got there earlier then. By 1 o'clock, it had filled up to at least about 100 or 120 people from various groups.
They're usually pretty secretive about where they're doing these things, and they don't really release the information until the very last minute and that kind of stuff.
Exactly. It was the last minute in front of the news report that I got. I didn't even know what time the protest was. I knew what time he was speaking, so I think I got there like 12:30, I think. If I said that wrong earlier.
Yeah.
So I started taking pictures, and I didn't really talk to anybody there. I couldn't really get out of my shell that day. Sometimes I can. It was kind of unexpected that I was called in and be I thought Jeremiah would be there. So next time I'll try to talk to more people. But I did get a lot of good pictures, and there was the largest single group there was a labor union, the Public Service Alliance of Canada. But there was a lot of individuals. Greenpeace was there with like 3 or 4 people. There were some anarchist groups, peace activists, environmental activists, and they weren't like from any one particular group, except for like the large group, the PSAC. They had flags. You'll see them. They all sort of came together. So the fact that this was such the fact that like about 100 people or more arrived here, I thought was really, really good. And they just came from everywhere, all sorts of different. Like I was there. I was wearing my Free Mark shirt. So the cannabis community was represented, as well Ken, who also works at the lounge, was there. He
saw some photos of him there.
He had a sign that said "Independent Election Fraud, Investigate Now." He talked to a reporter, and he was holding 2 or 3 ounces of weed under his arm the whole time.
Nice.
Right, because he's allowed to have it. He's legal. He's a retired airline pilot, and he's now working here. And so, yeah, he was very happy to be there. He said, I'm the last person that I ever thought that would be standing here. But here I am, because he suffers from PTSD and is using it, and he tried every other drug, and cannabis is the only thing that works for him. Wow. So it's just a matter of reason for him. Right. But there was lots of people. There was all sorts of different signs. I'll read you some of them now. Trees, not tar. Keep BC beautiful. Food, not crude. No pipelines, no tankers. Protect our coast. Canada abandoned Kyoto. Conservative Canada hates science. Stop ignoring climate science. Stop Harper, a lot of stop signs with Stop Harper painted on them and other slogans painted on them.
Excellent.
Harper hates nature. No more tankers. Pipelines. Peace and prosperity. Not war and austerity. Peace and prosperity, not war and austerity. I thought that was a big yellow banner. And these are the just notes that I just got from reviewing my photos. So there was other signs there. And there was also a group called Food Not Bombs, and they gave out free vegan food. And I had some with sourdough bun. It was very, very good.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, it was really awesome. And I'll have a blog entry, and I'll put the pictures up and have a blog entry either tonight or tomorrow.
Fantastic. Excellent, Marius. Thank you very much for coming on.
Right.
So the protest, I don't know, do you think that Steve is in there listening? Can he hear what's going on? Was there any speculation did you guys see? There was a lot of cops there, wasn't there?
Oh, yeah, I didn't mention the cops, actually. At first I could see about half a dozen cops, and they weren't, I walked in to use the bathroom, and they weren't really stopping anybody from coming in. But closer to the time, around 2 o'clock, when Stephen Harper started speaking, more and more showed up, to the point where there was a dozen of them all in a row in front of the rooms, in front of the entrance to the Vancouver Convention Center. And in order for anybody to get there, you had to walk behind the cops. So you had to go like maybe 5 or 10 meters to the left turn around, and then walk to the doors because they weren't letting anybody through that way.
Yeah.
I actually walked. There was a recycle bin there, and I had finished my drink.
Yeah.
And I was tossing it in there, and the woman cop, asked me, "What are you doing here?" And because I was only going to do that, I just tossed it and said, "What do you think?"
Yeah, throwing in the garbage.
Yeah,
Jeez.
I'm not intimidated by cops because I know that it's a public place and I'm not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but in the end, it turned out that I counted 19 cops that were there, and these were just the ones that were in clothes, plain clothes, not plain clothes cops, uniformed cops, that is. And who knows, somebody asked me how many snipers were there.
Nah,
so,
yeah.
I forgot to bring my fake pistol to pull it out and see how many shot me.
That would have been really hilarious. That would have been so
hilarious,
funny.
Hilarious.
Yeah,
Anyways.
yeah. If he lived to tell a tale. Yeah,
So,
I wonder. They
really
do have
good
snipers,
time.
though. We've seen them before at these events where they have the snipers up and walking around. You see the little figures around the tops of the buildings and stuff.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, CSIS, I'm sure. Also, they were photographing and videotaping the whole event. The police were. So I asked them why. They say, well, in case something happens. But I'm sure that it's going to be used for more than that. So who knows? Who knows what the truth is about what CSIS does and what the underworld does?
Yeah, no kidding. And so it was a good little crowd. I saw the photos. It looked like it was a lot of fun, actually. I like
was really glad.
The protests are, while they're something that I think sends a message to Stephen Harper and these people in government, it's also kind of a cool thing to do. It's just fun to be out there with those people, and I like going to these things.
Networking is definitely an important part of it, and even though I didn't talk to anybody there that time, I'll see them at other rallies, and I will eventually communicate with them eventually, and we can maybe do things together. And the more people that we put together, I think the more consciousness we can raise and probably change our government. The thing is, our electoral system in British Columbia is skewed. It's non-proportional representation.
Right.
So if we want to change things, ironically, either we have to change that or get all the votes from the interior to change the government. But
no, that's true. It's tough. It's we have our legislature, and the system is a hard thing to defeat sometimes if you don't have all the votes in all of the places.
Yeah, but you have to keep trying and do whatever you can. Things do change.
Cool, Marius. Well, and so do we know when Steve's coming back for the next one?
Hey. Oh yeah, he's.
Hey man, we're just going live here. You continue to tell them, Marius. I'm going to put you on in just a second.
Right after that, he published his full itinerary for the next year and breaking his secrecy. But then he realized that I was joking.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. Okay, bye. Yeah. Sorry, I missed it.
No, I actually haven't done research into it, but I would imagine that it'd still be very, very secretive. So about it.
Secretive. Okay.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Beautiful day.
I'm calling him back on a different phone here.
All right.
I don't know if it's
thanks
the right
for
one.
listening, guys. I'll go back to my producer post.
Was this the one? All right. So we'll throw you on now too. Hold on just a second here. All right. So thanks, Marius. That was cool. And hopefully next time we'll be at I'll try and be at the rally next time. I like going to these rallies. I hope that they can actually hear us inside, and I wonder if it has any effect on them. They saw us last time. Stephen came out with Christy Clark last time, and that was we took photos of them together sitting in the back of a limo schmoozing. Yeah, coming out of the TELUS World of Science, they call it now. Yeah, it used to be called Science World. Now it's the TELUS World of Science. Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him, James Bond style. All right, so Marius Stoner, thank you very much. And now Redbeard we have on the line. Redbeard, good to have you on the show.
Hey, thanks, man. Glad to be here.
Excellent. Now, Redbeard, you are also a busy guy. Just recently you had your glass gathering. Maybe we should start there and tell people a little bit about what you guys are doing up there.
Good. Well, it's like a glass blowers party, and it's not just for the glass blowers, but it's surrounded about glass blowing. So collectors and store owners and fans of glass in general and it's kind of been narrowed down to the pipe makers market in the last couple of years. There's a few beef makers that come and a few other types, but mostly pipe makers. And we party it up for the weekend far up in the woods, and it's worked out quite well. It's a good party. It's a lot of fun.
Cool, man. And so that happens when? And where can people get more information or a ticket for it?
Okay, well, this year we're definitely going to be putting in some information in the Treating Yourself magazine to let people know when the event will be coming. It will be near the end of July, first weekend of August. That's the usual time, and it will be up in the same neck of the woods. And I've actually reserved the Lakeside Resort for this one coming up. So I got Marco a cabin, a luxury resort for him, and for everybody. It's going to be really nice. We're going to have a swimming off the dock right outside the glass blowing tent.
Wow, and people can bring their camping equipment and set up tents and stuff down there.
Yeah, and I encourage people to just keep an eye on redbeardglass.ca, keep an eye on Pot TV, keep an eye on through Treating Yourself magazine, as well as posters in your local hemp shop. But it's not a huge event. It takes a little bit of energy to get up there. It's not close to the city. There's a reason for that, and so it's a committed crowd, and for that reason, it's a really good party.
Awesome. Yeah, I didn't get to go this year, but hopefully I'll get to go next year. I'd love to go. Looks like a lot of fun, and I love camping, so it definitely looks like it's a blast. So now you've also got a company, Redbeard Glass. You're a glass blower yourself, and how long have you been doing that for?
I've been doing that for 15 years now. It's on my 15th year. So I started it. I started in 1998. What does that make it? Yeah, so my 14th year.
Wow, cool, man. And
a lot of those years were spent alone in my garage in the woods or wherever I happened to live. And I guess that's what facilitated wanting to bring the glass blowers together was, man, I got such a nice property here. We could throw a party and we could have 10 glass blowers. And then we thought, oh, we could have 20 glass blowers. And this last year we had over 25 glass blowers.
Wow, that's cool.
Working at the same time. There's lots more glass blowers watching.
Yeah, of course. And now, so you distribute your stuff. You have a lot of glass that you're getting rid of here to stores and that kind of stuff. We sell your glass in our store down 307 West Hastings.
That's right. I've sold the CCHQ for over a decade now.
That's awesome.
I've watched the store and company grow and managers come and go, and it's been fun. I enjoy it. It's one of my favorite stores to deal with, and been bringing my family down there for all the events. And yeah, I've been kind of known as the production guy. If Mark's the Prince of Pot, I could be the Prince of Production. I made so many of the inexpensive pipes because that's what sells. That's what people can afford in this Canadian economy. So, you know, that's where I specialize. Lately, I've been able to break out more into the one-of-a-kind and the more expensive pieces, and that's been pretty exciting for me.
Yeah, we were going to go and check out some stuff down in the store. I'm not sure if we're still going to be able to work that out after we play another video, but we do have a bunch of glass down there. I was checking out right before the show. You had some really beautiful stuff. There was an orange and red one that had all these different parts to it. It was a rig that looked really beautiful.
Yeah, there's only one of those left, and that's been one of my popular sellers. That was actually what I made for the Kush Cup prizes. The top first place prize got that rig set. So it's just it's kind of what I used to call it the executive set. So it's got every option. You can smoke your dried flowers, you can smoke your oil and your butter. It comes with a dish, which old school joint smokers love. It's an ashtray. So it's an ashtray, it's a dish. So these executive sets have been really popular.
Cool, man. And so now, recently, you're also a medical marijuana grower yourself, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I have been for I'm just going to renew now into my second year of growing legally.
Second year. Awesome. And,
that's right.
But recently you were targeted for your grow, and the cops came through and laid a bunch of charges against you.
Yeah, they have. They did.
So tell people what happened.
Okay, well, it was traumatic. I got a family here. I've got 2 kids. I suffer from IBS, it's an irritable bowel syndrome. Pretty much my guts are in a knot. Unless I smoke cannabis, I have a hard time eating and a hard time digesting. Anyway, the cops came, they had a search warrant. And according to the details, they sat outside my house for an hour and a half surveillance and then called a judge because it was out of hours at 7 a.m. They got a judge in Surrey to sign a search warrant for up here in Penticton. And they came in, they didn't break the door down, but they knocked. My girlfriend answered. And we stated right away, I was pulled over by the police on my way home from dropping my oldest child off at school. And right away we explained it, I'm a medical user, it's a legal operation, and they still came in. And what happened was, because they had the search warrant, they came in and they counted plants. And I had a tray of seedlings. So I guess let this be a warning to everyone else. If you don't want any trouble, the seedlings were over my numbers. It was a tray, so I had 50 seedlings over. So they proceeded to take me out. They emptied the room, they took all my equipment, they cut all my mature plants, they took all my medicine, and that was that.
Wow.
So I was under the impression I was allowed to have these seedlings. It was part of my genetic selection, and just starting the next round, you know, nothing taller than 10 inches or so. And, yeah, that was my, and so then we went to court, and they're in court, they dismissed the charges. They were stay of proceedings. So I can thank Kirk Tusaw for his persuasive letters, explaining how I'm a patient and explaining how we were going to do a constitutional challenge or a question, challenging how the doctors are in charge of prescribing our dosage, and the plant numbers are inaccurate to that. So I'm glad kind of that we don't have to. I hope that someone does raise that challenge because it's pretty messed up, the MMAR program still. It's got a lot of fine tuning to do.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, and that hopefully won't affect people and take away personal cultivation. That would be just horrendous if they tried to do something like that. I don't know how they could possibly get away with that, but...
yeah, I'm not sure, but it's not over yet. They came back this morning. The RCMP knocked on my door this morning.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, they had a complaint of my smell. I guess the neighbors don't recognize the beautiful flora of green crack and Hindu purple kush.
Oh, man.
Because I'm just about to crop some lovely females. I started my grow room up within a week of being busted last time. You know, they can take my plants, but they can't take my right to grow.
And they said it was a smell complaint?
So there was a smell complaint was what these police said, yes. And it is, and I told them, well, give me my equipment and my charcoal filters back. You know, I don't have charcoal filters because they've stolen all of my equipment.
Right, when they came in the first time, they took all your stuff. And
that's right. They saw I was exempt from the marijuana law, yet they came in and robbed me. Health Canada warned me to have good locks on the house and a good security system, to beware of thieves. Who are the thieves? Who's the thieves? The organized crime. The organized crime is the RCMP.
And so how do you get that stuff back?
Well, we've made an application to get the equipment back. The police are waiting for official paperwork from the Crown Council. And as far as I've heard, nothing happens quickly in this justice system. I can be happy that my ordeal only lasted a couple months. I actually I do realize that. I'm quite blessed. You know, I only had to pay a couple months of a lawyer. I only lost one round of plants. I didn't have to spend more than 1 day in jail. It could have been so much worse, but I'm still pissed off. This prohibition is so costly on all of us. It's made more of a warrior out of me. The sad part is it's lost my children's respect for the authority of police.
Yeah.
They don't see the police as a helpful identity now.
No, I know. That's one of the craziest things about it is kids can see right through the bullshit, and it instantly tells you that those authority positions are something to be questioned. It's too bad we had a police force that would actually stick to helping us instead of hurting us. Wouldn't be that way, I suppose. But so, is there a website we can send people to, Redbeard?
Well, other than my own website, redbeardglass.ca, which I'm trying to, I'm going to be retweaking that soon, adding a whole lot of pictures. I've just got oodles of pictures to add and some video as well. But I'll be doing a lot more coverage with you guys, so be also checking in with Pot TV. I'll be coming down there next week with some bongs for the lounge. Long promised, long awaited.
Nice. Looking forward to it.
No longer will you need to be kissing the Chinese glass when you come into the lounge upstairs. There'll be Redbeard custom bongs for you to get on.
Nice. Awesome, man. Fantastic. That's very cool. We'll have you back again sometime soon, I'm sure, to talk about more, and definitely before the glass gathering.
I look forward to it. Yeah, next year's going to be epic. I hope Marco will come out again. I hope everyone can come out. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to be changing up locations, but it'll be in the same neck of the woods, way up in the mountains. Come get some clean, fresh air.
Sounds like fun at a resort this time. Cool, man. Well, thanks a lot for coming on the show, Redbeard, and we'll have you back again soon.
Thank you, Jeremiah. Always a pleasure.
Yeah,
Love you,
for
man.
sure. Peace, brother.
Cheers.
All right. So that was Redbeard, and it's very cool. I think we should try and go downstairs and look at some of his glass. I don't know. What do you think, Mariah? Should we give that a go? I don't know if it'll work down there.
Oh, I'm sure we can get something
Yeah,
going.
take a peek.
There's a wireless thing down there. It might work.
Yeah, I think the chatters would like to see that, wouldn't they?
For sure. Absolutely.
All right. Well, what we'll do is we'll play another video clip that we have before then, so we can transition and make this happen. What's the clip we have here?
The NAACP comes
Oh
out
yeah,
and
so
supportive.
this, let me just set this up a bit. There's 3 legalization initiatives on the ballots this November: Colorado, Oregon, and Washington State. And the NAACP has come out in support of all 3 of them now. This is the latest one from Colorado. This is just a 3-minute video. Hopefully this is enough time for me to run downstairs so we can show some stuff off.
3 3/4 minutes.
It'll work. Okay. Well,
Okay.
yeah, we'll play this video and we'll see you guys on the other side. I'm going downstairs into the store.
For Colorado, legalizing marijuana will be one of the most important political issues when the November election rolls around, and it could have bigger implications for the outcome of the presidential election as well. Our Brian Shackman is live in the Mile High City. We don't know exactly where, with a lot more. Morning, Brian. Wouldn't you know it? He does a live shot from a pot farm, and you can't reach him. We'll try to get to Brian in a moment. It's undisclosed, apparently, because the size of the pot farm is larger than it is supposed to be, even though marijuana is medicinally legal in that state. I'm going to find out if this is really a technical issue or not. Meanwhile, don't forget to tweet us. Let's try to go back to Brian Shackman, who's reporting live in the Mile High City with a story about marijuana. Brian, we haven't had technical difficulties all day until we tossed to the guy in the pot farm.
Right. It's high security, although everyone is sober who's managing this shot, I will tell you that. We do have a little bit of breaking news, Carl. I want to point out the NAACP of Wyoming, Montana, and Colorado came out this morning and said they support Amendment 64, which is the amendment that will make pot fully legalized in Colorado. And Colorado is not alone. Oregon and Washington State are also going to have something on the ballot, but a lot of people think that Colorado has the best chance of approval because they already have a fully regulated medical marijuana industry that serves about 100,000 patients. And I spent some time yesterday with Democratic Congressman Jared Polis. He represents the district that includes Boulder, which of course Carl's alma mater is there. He supports the amendment and says this whole situation could set up a classic battle between state and federal powers.
If one of them passes, it sets up this conflict with the federal government, where all of a sudden it's harder for the federal government to basically ignore it, which they're doing with medical marijuana, saying we're just not enforcing the law.
It could end up in the Supreme Court, a lot like health care, but let's be clear, legalizing is not a slam dunk. Longtime Colorado Attorney General John Suthers not mincing his words.
It's a mess either way. The best way to reduce the mess would be to go back to the old days where we had 1,700 people who either grew it themselves or had a caregiver, and we didn't have a dispensary on every street corner.
Yeah, he's referencing 2009 when they expanded access to medical marijuana. Carl, obviously people are probably gaming the system when it comes to medical marijuana, but we visited a lot of dispensaries, and I can tell you this is really helping a lot of people. But if you fully legalize it, who knows?
And Brian, as we look at the shot behind you, I mean, clearly these are businesses. I mean, real businesses. I wonder if you can just give us some color on the sophistication of the people who are running these farms.
Well, listen, they're not nonprofits. They're for-profit. They're very organized. A lot of them have other businesses. They're entrepreneurs. We have one gentleman who has pizza businesses. Another woman has restaurants. The key is, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later, but they can't bank, though, because banks don't want to deal with them because they're federally insured and they don't want to violate the federal law. And quickly, I do want to point out, Carl, this does have implications for the White House. You know, Obama carried Colorado in 08. Libertarian Gary Johnson getting a lot of attention here, and he might take a few percentage points away, and it might put things in play here.
Brian Shackman joining us from an undisclosed location in Denver. Good stuff, Brian, and a fascinating story. Brian Shackman, thanks a lot. Thanks. Tweet time this morning, Hormel reporting increased profits across all their segments, including spam.
Here we go. Yeah, so as we're waiting for Jeremiah and the clip ended, oh, he's right here. We're just chatting here, being funky and stoned. Yeah, Skittles. Oh, so it was the Skittles that turned your hair that color. It's the rainbow. I can't hear him, but I'm going to cue up Jeremiah. I hope he's ready.
There we go. Nice. Now you can see me. We're downstairs at 307 West Hastings. I'm here with Cody. What's up, man?
Hey, man. How's
in the
it going?
store. Yeah, here we go. How's that look? We can see some of this shit behind you there.
This is the Redbeard rig.
Oh, yeah.
You were talking about earlier?
That's right. Redbeard was on the show talking about this rig, actually.
No nail in it currently.
Oh, yeah, right about here is the camera. And you can see like more of a live cue right here.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very cool.
Nail and dome.
And that comes apart at the top there, right?
Yeah, comes right out. It's a fully worked slide. Bouncing.
It's really cool. It's got that orange pattern, barber pole thing going on, but also on the bottom of the thing. Yeah, that's very cool. And it's got all the other parts with it. It's got the dish here that Redbeard mentioned. As it's either a dish or an ashtray, depending on who's using it.
Comes with a bowl.
Yeah, that thing's pretty slick. Yeah, that's cool, man. Awesome. And so we've got a ton of glass down here, and we're trying to expand our glass section as well. We got other Redbeard stuff in there too, right? Like he's got, there's that green one that looks like, I had a picture of the red one on the promo for the show today. Thing's pretty awesome. It's almost like Beetlejuice-ish or something. That's pretty cool. Nice. And what are some other choice pieces in here?
Other than Redbeards, there's some
Well, that thing's
crazy
pretty dope.
pieces from the island.
That thing's cool. Wow, crazy stripe pattern.
Some Corey Cotton. The ray gun.
The ray gun.
It's electroformed in slime.
Wow, that is so cool. In slime.
Yeah, it's quite the heavy piece.
Wow. That's cool, man. Everything's cool to me. I'm super fucking high right now.
It's awesome. Yeah, we got a lot of great pieces down here. Corey Cotton's pieces.
Awesome.
Nail and dome. Cameraman.
That's cool.
The Mac cameraman.
Oh, that's right. Got the laptop cam. Thing's great.
So smooth.
Awesome. Well, and here I'll show off the store too. Check out the store. A lot of space in this store. Full of stuff. Everything you need but the weed. Anything else we got in here that we want to show off? This crazy pipe thing is just so awesome.
The Paco.
That thing is so cool. It's got the little urinal on top. Oh, we got fatties being smoked. This is how we do.
That's so good timing.
Oh, there's some crazy stuff in there. Look at that one. Look at that blue one. That thing is crazy. Wow.
As well as I know. They can see it.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome, man. Well, thanks for showing off some stuff for us. And we'll be back to show off more stuff again. We got to keep doing this. There's so much stuff down here to be showed off.
Yeah,
Showed off. I think you could say that.
Definitely. We can show a lot more off.
Hell yeah. All right. So I guess that's the end of the show, guys. That was our Kiss My Glass show. So, yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll be back again next Friday as usual. Before that, you can catch me on Mick's show on Monday and on Greg Marijuana Man's show on on Wednesday. One's at 3 p.m., that's Monday. One's at 4 p.m., that's Wednesday. And yeah, there's all kinds of Pot TV content coming your way all the time, all through the week from Vapor Central and other places. We'll see you guys soon, and maybe Marius will take us out on this one. Peace. Love you guys.